Hello, my amazing learners, and welcome back to the Wisdom English podcast. My name is Sarah. You know, there's something that I hear on a regular basis. Students message me, students just like you, and say, Sarah, I understand about 80 or 90% of what you say. It's so amazing. But how come I can't understand other English speakers? Or, what about this one? Sarah, your podcasts are great. I love them. I can understand you. But how come I can't understand English movies? You have probably asked the same question. Now, I'm so happy you can understand me, but I realize this is a big issue. One of my students last week actually asked the same question. She said, how can I improve my English listening skills? So you know what I did? I came up with a simple 5-step plan. That's right. 5 steps that will help you improve your English listening skills. And make sure you stay with me until the very end, because I'll reveal the simple secret that ties all of these strategies together and makes them truly effective. Okay, so we're going to look at 5 different steps that will help you improve your listening skills. Step number 1 is to find a video or podcast about something you are interested in. Now, I mentioned this in a previous podcast, the importance of actually finding something you're interested in, because your brain is awesome. You already have this storage room of words and concepts connected to your interests, and all you have to do is translate those words to English. So, find a video or podcast about a topic you enjoy. Why? Because learning about topics you already enjoy makes it easy for your brain to make connections as you listen. You know, it's so funny, a quick story time. I was teaching a class last week, and 2 of my students were having a conversation, and I was listening to them. One of the questions was related to a challenge they faced in life. Now, one of my students, she's an architect, and my other student works in Brazil with a company that makes these big machines that are used in construction. So they were having a discussion about challenges, and I was so amazed as I watched them speak confidently and comfortably about the challenges they faced related to their jobs. Now, when they stopped, I said, you know what, guys? Do you realize that you were able to speak confidently about this topic? They said, yeah, we do. And I told them it was because they had already formulated ideas about the topic in their own language. So, when I asked them the question in English, it was very easy for them to translate it into English because they already had that storage room of ideas. It makes it so much easier. So again, find a video or a podcast about your interests. It's going to be easier for you to connect the information in English. Now, after you do that, you're going to move on to step number 2. Listen and mark the timestamps of the parts you don't understand. So here we go. You're going to listen to the video or watch the video or listen to the podcast, and you're going to write down the timestamps of the parts you don't understand. Now again, remember, you're only writing down the timestamps. Sometimes, as a student, you feel like you have to write down every word or every single part that you want to go back and look at in the dictionary. And sometimes you'll say, Sarah, if I look in the dictionary for every single word, I won't finish in time. And I get it. That's why the second step is literally just to write down the timestamp. So, let's say, for example, you find your podcast, you find the video, and you are ready to watch the video or listen to the podcast, and then you start. And from the very beginning, you don't understand something, pause. Write down the timestamp, but you don't have to write anything else again for step 2. Now, why is this important? The reason is that jotting down quick notes is good because it doesn't stop you from listening to the remainder of the program. Jotting down just means to make a quick note. Not like when you're studying for a test and you have to write extensively. Nope, just quick notes. So, You're going to jot down very quickly a timestamp. For example, your notebook might look like this: 1 minute and 5 seconds, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. This is all you have to do for part 2 as you listen. Now, we're going to progress to step number 3. The third thing is, you're going to go to the timestamp and listen again and guess. So again, listen to the portions at the timestamps one more time and guess what is being said. That's right. So you've listened to the program all the way through. Then what you're going to do is you're going to go back. This is step 3. And you're only going to look for those parts that you didn't understand, not the entire thing. Just go to, let's say, 1 minute and 25 seconds, listen to that short portion and try to figure out what's being said. And then guess. It's okay. Just guess what you think is being said. Now, why is this important? Here's the reason. This will help you focus on small portions instead of the entire program. Many times, as an English learner, you get frustrated and overwhelmed because you're trying to see everything at once. Whereas this method is saying, hey, you've already listened to the full program. Now go back to that little part and see if you can understand that portion right there. So let's see how it would look. For example, let's say I listened to something and this is what's in my notebook. At 1 minute and 5 seconds, I heard something that sounded like prerequisite. But after listening again, I realized the word is prerequisite. Now, prerequisite, let me explain it to you. A prerequisite is something that must occur or be in place before something else can happen. The easiest way to understand it is to imagine when you were in university, and you are majoring in biology. It's your freshman year, your first year, and they say, before you can take organic chemistry, you need to take basic chemistry. Chemistry 101 is a prerequisite. You need to have this class before you take organic chemistry. In English, we say prerequisite. Okay, so then, at 2 minutes and 56 seconds, I heard something like, on clad knife, and then I realized, it's on cloud 9. Now again, you guys are getting a lot of expressions today. On cloud 9 just means you feel awesome, you feel amazing, everything is A-okay. Now for me personally, when I'm on cloud 9, I usually sing and dance. Let's go on to the next one. Let's say at 4 minutes and 11 seconds, I heard back on day, but it was actually back in the day. Back in the day just means a long time ago. Next, let's say I heard call fiber, but it was actually all-nighter. All-nighter refers to studying or working all through the night. You might say, I pulled an all-nighter to finish my project. And let's say the last one I found was something that sounded like sunked eye. What is sunked eye? It's actually zonked out. Let's practice the pronunciation. After me, zonked out. One more time, zonked out. Now, zonked out just means extremely exhausted or really tired. Now, I want to pause really quickly because you see, sometimes when you're on this step, you're on step 3 and you hear the words or expressions, you may not be able to figure out the correct expression or words on your own. Or you might want to ask someone a question. Well, that's where having a tutor can be very helpful. There are many online platforms where you can find amazing tutors from Australia, Canada, America, and other English-speaking countries, and they are ready to help you. Many of my students use these services. They can help you take your English to the next level and answer your questions when you get stuck. So, again, we're on step 3, and this is the step where if you need to ask questions, you can ask questions to your tutors. Now we've looked at the timestamps, and now we have to go on to the 4th step. Figure out the context before, after, and overall. you're going to listen to the portions before and immediately after the part you didn't understand. Then, you're going to think about the video as a whole. So, you see what happened in step number 3. When I was explaining back in the day or all-nighter, I explained those to you, but we couldn't listen to the same program together, right? So even if you figure out the phrase back in the day, you may not understand how that connects to the actual program you listen to. This is when you have to figure out the context. What were they talking about at that point, before that point, and after that point? And what's the whole focus of the program you're listening to? What's the topic or what's the focus? Now, why is this so important? This step is so important because it will help your brain start to connect the information and understand what you missed. Let's see how I would do it. For example, at 4 minutes and 11 seconds, they said, back in the day. Now, I look at the context before and after. These two pieces of information are going to help me guess the real meaning. So here we go. They were talking about all of the new technology available today, from 3 minutes and 30 seconds to 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Then, at 4 minutes and 11 seconds, they said, back in the day. And after that, they started to speak about childhood memories. So, they suddenly went from talking about present-day technology to childhood memories. And right in the middle, there's this expression, back in the day. So they're talking about old times or the past. These are context clues. This can help you understand things when you're listening to things in English. Now, this helps us move to step number 5. Alright, so step number 5 is to listen one more time to make sure you understand. You're going to listen to the program or watch it one more time and make sure you are able to understand the portions you went over. This is so important because it will help you feel more confident and give your brain one last time to recognize what you learned. This is so important. So, steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's where you're going to actually process and understand the information to try to guess what's going on. Then, step 5 kind of solidifies it. I understood. My listening is improving. And that's all you need to do. These 5 steps are going to take your English to the next level. The final secret. Now, I hope this really helped you because I know how frustrating it can be to be able to understand English but not actually speak it. I experienced the same thing when I was learning Spanish, and I wish someone had given me a lesson like this. So, put into practice what you learned today. And now, for the secret I promised at the beginning, the single most important secret that ties all of these strategies together is this. Listening is not a passive activity, it's an active investigation. You are not just letting sounds wash over you. You are a detective. You are looking for clues. In step 1, you choose your case, the video or podcast. In step 2, you identify the mysteries, the timestamps you don't understand. In step 3, you listen closely to the evidence and make a guess. In step 4, you look at the surrounding context to solve the puzzle. And in step 5, you review the case to make sure your solution is correct. When you approach listening like an active, curious detective, it becomes more engaging, more effective, and a lot more fun. So, my challenge to you is this. For the next week, I want you to be a listening detective. Choose one short video or podcast episode and apply these 5 steps. Find the timestamps, listen again, guess the meaning, check the context, and listen one last time. See how much more you can understand when you become an active investigator of the English language. Please like, share, and subscribe to the Wisdom English podcast channel to watch our next videos.